Hello everybody and welcome back to NASCAR E5 for our off-season changes video before season number 8, where we ditch the legends and go back to our previous incarnation with some changes. So you can already see the first change that we have made. The number 17 car will now be driven by Trevor Bayne for RFK Racing after his strong Xfinity Series run last season. Then Christopher Bell will remain in the number 45 Toyota for 2311 Racing. Ryan Blaney will remain in the 12 for Team Penske. Alex Bowman is back in the 48 for Hendrick Motorsports. And another change is now Tony Bradinger will be driving the number 34 Loves Ford Mustang for Front Row Motorsports after her Xfinity Series tenure has ended. Then Chase Briscoe is back in the 14 car for Stewart-Haas Racing. Then Harrison Burton returns to the number 20 car for Joe Gibbs Racing. Then William Byron is back in the 24 for Hendrick Motorsports. Then Ross Chastain remains in the number 1 Trackhouse Racing Chevrolet. Austin Cindric is now back in the number 2 car for Team Penske. Sheldon Creed, one of our other changes, will now be driving the number 27 Whelen Chevrolet for RCR in their third entry. And then Cole Custer remains in the 29 for Kevin Harvick Incorporated. Hailie Deegan is now back in the number 4 for Stewart-Haas Racing with some new paint schemes. Then Ty Dillon is now in the number 42 Petty GMS Chevrolet. Chase Elliott remains in the number 9. Ty Gibbs now returns to the number 11 for Joe Gibbs Racing. Todd Gilliland remains in the 38 for Front Row Motorsports. Noah Gragson remains in the 47 for JTG Doherty Racing. Kaz Grala now moves over to the 16 for Colleague Racing, while Justin Haley moves over to take Kaz's old car from last season, the number 31, as Daniel Hemrick has retired. Then Corey Heim will be now driving the number 18 JBL Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing after Kyle Busch announced his retirement this offseason. Corey Heim is taking his spot. And then Timmy Hill remains here, but his new number for that team, he goes from driving the 66 for MBM Motorsports now to driving the number 55 for a reincarnated Michael Waltrip Racing here in the NASCAR Cup Series, sponsored by Aaron's. And then Carson Hocevar is now taking over from Austin Dillon, who has retired from the Cup Series, in his number 3 Premier Security Chevrolet at Richard Childress Racing after his very strong Xfinity Series seasons. And another change, Jesse Iwuji will now be taking over the number 99 Trackhouse Racing Chevrolet after his strong Xfinity Series seasons he has had in the past. Then Eric Jones will return to the number 43 for Petty GMS Motorsports. And then Corey LaJoie is back in the 7 for Spire Motorsports. Kyle Larson remains in the 5 for Hendrick. Joey Logano remains in the 22 for Penske. And here's our next change. Ty Majeski will be taking over the number 97 Sharpie Ford Mustang for RFK Racing, as they are bringing it back after, of course, the Legend season last season where Kurt Busch had used it, but now we're bringing it back for Ty Majeski. And myself, of course, back in the number 6 Color Generators Ford Mustang. No changes for us here. And John Nemechek will be driving the number 19 Mustang this season. And then Ryan Preece will be driving the number 10 Hunt Brothers Pizza Ford Mustang for Stewart-Haas Racing. And then Tyler Reddick is returning to the number 8 Richard Childress Racing Chevrolet for this season. And then here's the next change. Ben Rhodes will be driving the number 88 Valvoline Chevrolet for JR Motorsports after his runner-up Xfinity Series finish last season. Then Chandler Smith will be driving a 5th RFK car, the number 60 Safelite Autoglass Ford Mustang this season. So that's another big change. And then Zane Smith, another change. Will be driving the number 21 MRC Ford Mustang for the Wood Brothers this season. And then Garrett Smithley remains in the 53. Daniel Suarez remains in the 41. Bubba Wallace remains in the 23. And Cody Ware is back in the 51. And so that has been the off-season changes videos. We're only doing the Cup Series this season. So the next episode will be the Daytona 500 and the Cup Series season opener. So until then, I hope you all have a good one.